Hello and welcome to a new episode. It's been a while. It's been a few weeks. Oh no, last episode was at the start of the month. We haven't done this in a while. But hello, we've got a guest.
Hey.
One of our very, very good friends.
Yeah.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello. I am Thatchmac.
Mhm.
I'm back from the grave for just a second.
Mhm.
Probably gonna go back into the grave pretty quickly after this. Yeah, you may have heard of me. I mean, if you've heard of Rangus, you've probably heard of me.
I wouldn't go that far away.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm just doing this. I've been trying to get on the show for a long time, honestly.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't lined up because I've been super busy at
With,
college and stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
well, we're happy that you're here. So it's just us three today. Tyler isn't here; he's busy with family stuff. Braden isn't here because he's a sweaty bitch. But
He's dealing with people.
it's just us
breaking
three
through
today.
life.
So he's busy doing something. So yeah.
Something.
So this episode is going to be a kind of half and half, and it's all over the place as per usual because I never structure anything. So Obi wan finished. Let's talk about that. Since you two haven't been on to talk about it as well, I'd love to know your thoughts on the show as a whole, and then I'll talk about episodes 4 to 6. Since, like I said, before we came on, that I had already reviewed the first 3. So, Thatch, would you want to go first, or you just both ramble away if you want?
I'll go for it. Yeah. So the nice thing about having us two, me and I call him Kierman on here, right? Is that, or do I say his
You
real
can
name?
call him by his actual name or his YouTube
Alright.
name. It's up to you.
Say,
Thing with
if Rangus opens the opportunity to call me anything, then you have that
You
right.
do, yeah, just
That's-
go by
that's-
whatever.
Kierman, Aiden Kierman. We watched this show together weekly.
Mhm.
We experienced it weekly. We did group
Mhm.
watch every week. So we were there. So it's cool to having us both together.
Yeah,
And also,
yeah.
it's because we haven't really spoken about it since we finished it. So I'm curious
Mhm.
how Aiden's thoughts have evolved since we finished. I am not a Star Wars mega fan at all.
Mm.
I am significantly less into it than a lot of people. So I'm a little bit more casual,
Mhm.
probably.
Yeah, more of a casual viewer, if anything.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
like Marvel where I'm like a
Yeah,
a-
you're
a
more
super-
into Marvel, whereas
yeah,
for me,
the
I'm
comic
more into
books. Yeah,
Star Wars
Yeah.
and Marvel. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I thought it was I I don't know. It was I think it has like really high highs, but then it doesn't have like anything embarrassing in it really, but it's also like I don't know, it gets into a real slump. I feel like a lot of the Disney Plus shows by episode 3 or 4 get into this weird slump where like nothing happens,
Mhm.
and then the last 2 episodes like everything happens again.
It's
you
weird
know?
because I don't ever feel like that with The Mandalorian, for example. I feel like that's
No,
probably the
yeah.
most solid, like,
Yes.
that kind of show, it's kind of made. It's kind of made for that kind of concept
Mhm.
where it doesn't really, and it'll pick up near the end of the
yeah,
season.
yeah.
Something like Obi Wan, you would think be more solidified in its time and how
Mhm.
it takes care of everything moving
Yeah.
throughout.
Yeah.
I didn't love episode 4. It's like my least favorite.
Yeah,
but I don't
I'm
hate
the
it
same.
as much as other stuff. Like I think Obi-Wan did some cool stuff. He fought some stormtroopers in the dark. He
Mhm.
also
Yeah.
used the Force to cover glass from breaking from water coming.
Yeah,
in.
yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah.
You
That
don't see
whole
that.
episode for me just kind of seemed like the writers or whoever just finished playing Fallen Order and were like, yeah, there we
Well,
go.
let's put the building in here.
That-
And
Yeah.
I don't think it was used to its fullest potential. It didn't really feel like, oh wow, really cool big fortresses. They kind of just
Mhm.
wandered in, and then like Obi-Wan came out with a big belly underneath. So,
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
so funny. That is the funniest thing.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's one of
child.
the that's one of the stupidest things
that's
about.
kind of Star Wars, where
Yeah,
it's
that's
like
true.
this most ridiculous escape route somehow gets
Mhm.
passed by the Empire.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I kind of it's just kind of one of them things though with the Empire that they are kind of portrayed in some aspects of being incredibly intimidating, but
Right.
then in other aspects they're incredibly stupid. Like stormtroopers, they're
Yeah.
shit.
all we needed was for Vader to be intimidating, and he was
Superb,
obviously
yeah.
very much
Every
so.
scene, superb.
I would even go on to say this is the best material I've seen with Vader probably since the original trilogy. Maybe like for really in depth of the character and what we know more about Vader. Outside of like, I love the scene at the end of Clone Wars. That's great on its own respect. But the show with bringing back them together again, Ben and Darth Vader, it was. Well, we'll talk about that more. But
as someone who's like so for the last few years and going into this, I was really nervous about this. Star Wars has had this freaking thing where at the end they'll have like a thing, and then at the very end Vader will come in and like beat everyone up and then go. Like he won't be in it barely at all. He'll show up and he'll do something cool and then he'll leave.
Vader was like, always
when they didn't know how to end something, they just did that. You know, for like a couple times, and he was like, okay, we're bringing Ahsoka in. I guess she's gonna fight Vader, and then she's gonna vanish into a time loop or something. And like, so I was nervous that this would be like that.
Yeah,
and
like
I'm happy.
that whole thing with Rebels, like he fights Ahsoka and then just fucks off. Like you never see him again. He's just like,
exactly. Yeah. And then in Fallen Order, I can almost guarantee you he is not going to be in Fallen Order 2. I can almost guarantee. I
mean,
that.
I do like what they did, like with that reveal in Jedi Fallen Order. Like I really love that because it did really get across how fucking terrifying he is. But I know what you mean.
He just isn't in it at all, and then he shows up, and he kills the main villain and goes, and it's like, okay, I mean, it was cool, but it was like came out of nowhere.
I think it's because Vader's such like a safe villain to use. He's that villain that they can fall on.
Yes.
But I will say in this, he's superb. He is ridiculously good. Like he just cements like I've never been the biggest Vader fan. I've never been crazy about him. I do love the character, but he's never been like, I don't know, like Obi Wan being my top or anything like that. I've always liked him, but in this, every scene, just the way he was filmed, the way it was the way he came across, it was like, I love this. This is the Vader I've been waiting for.
It was cool to see. It was like, again, I was really kind of tired of the Vader stuff. But in this, I was so happy that it was like they did something new. They also let him make mistakes and be vulnerable and stuff like that, which was really refreshing. I really enjoyed that. When he showed up in episode 3, I was like, whoa, oh my god, they're already fighting.
Which was a really great episode for the most part. I know people have their issues and shit, but I mean, you know, like, Obi Wan is my favourite character, and this show genuinely for me meant a lot, but I'm not blinded by it or anything like that. I do know the faults, and I do know that there is issues there, but the stuff that I needed and wanted, it's there, and I love it for it. Like, the final confrontation between Obi-Wan and Vader, especially, that just meant so much seeing that. And just the emotion behind it, and like even the flashback. Like, I know that not everyone's the biggest fan of the prequels and stuff, but for me, I was like, I love that.
The whole show really.
It's a love letter to prequel fans.
Yeah, it is. So people not liking that flashback is kind of like, I don't know. Get why it's there. It's a very important scene when you think about it. I think it's a great scene. Surprisingly, you would think that it may not work, but I think it does. I think it really does.
And it's not there just to like be there. It's a metaphor. It's like a metaphor for what's happening in the modern day. So it works really well in that regard. Like that was really cool that they tied it in and it had like that weight. And it's so cool. Like, I don't know. In my opinion, Anakin at the end of episode 3 and Vader in the original trilogy, like I could never see those two as the same person. I struggled with that. And then this show, like, it did it. I was like, oh they are the same person. They did a really, like, when they're doing the voice thing, it's fantastic.
That was great. I love that.
It's so good,
That was great. How it was like coming in between.
Scary.
And when he says, like, you didn't kill Anakin Skywalker, I did, and then he freaking smiles. You can see him smiling. Oh my gosh, it's terrifying. It's so cool.
He literally is like a zombie in that suit. It's really
so freaking cool. That after, like, you see the disappointment on Obi-Wan's face, that he doesn't proceed to call him Anakin anymore, but Darth.
Darth.
See, that's always how he does in A New Hope.
That's always been one of them things with A New Hope. Like, if you watch it and you watch, like, obviously you come from episode 3, you're like, why is he calling him, like, Darth and not Anakin or whatever? Do you know what I mean? And just the fact that Obi-Wan has realised that Anakin, my friend, he's not there anymore. He's gone. He's dead. Like, this is a different person. So calling him Darth, I love that. It was just... And Ewan in that scene where he's getting really emotional and, like, he's saying sorry to him, it's like he's really devastated about what's happened to him and stuff, and, like, you know. And I really loved the transition of the two blade colours, which I thought was very cool. Especially when it's on blue, he has the Sith eyes, but when it's red, they really pop in that shot. And then, like, Vader, like, screaming his name and stuff, like that, like, yeah, that rage that he has for him, it's, you know, it's the, which I really love. We'll talk about episode 5, but episode 4 for me was my least favourite out of the season, as well as episode 2. Just with the whole ending of episode 4 was incredibly stupid. Like, the TIE fighters are right there when you drop them out and, you know, chase them, but they don't. It is what it is. But episode 5. Episode 5 is where they get attacked by the Empire, and then Reva tries to fucking have a fight with Vader, and it obviously doesn't go her way. What did you think of episode 5?
It was like, I don't know. Feels like, I mean, it was better than, I don't know. I don't want to say it's better because it's weird. Because when I think of it, I just think of it as one thing. But I mean, I feel like it really picked up compared to the last one, where it was like, I don't know, they're kind of tripping around the cat, like the Inquisitor base. And,
stuff actually goes on, I guess. You actually get like a shit ton of action.
This one was a bit more exciting and cool. It's a little, it's a little. I don't really like seeing. I don't know. For some reason, the rebellion pre A New Hope is just every time we're in like a dark, grungy rebellion base, and there's just like these no-name characters running around, and there's like 16 of them or whatever, and then it just always feels kind of like, all right, here's like a scene from Solo or Rogue One or whatever.
Yeah.
So that was, and then like the set seemed like, I don't know, like a Disneyland park. It just seemed a little like
claustrophobic.
Cheap.
I also feel like the production for this and the Book of Boba Fett is like, I don't know if it's because they haven't got the same budget as the Mandalorian, but like they just don't seem to be up to that standard for some reason. And like, I don't know if it was the way they used the, obviously how they film it, that space, it just felt quite claustrophobic. Like that whole fight where the stormtroopers are coming in, it's a lot of like close-up shots of people and stuff, and you're like, I want to be out, you know, seeing the full thing. I want to see all these troopers running in, but you're getting like, you know, really up and close now with it, and it just felt really claustrophobic. Yeah, I liked episode 5. My favourite character died in that episode. Rip and then Of course, I'm attached to the droids.
Yeah, I told Thatch this. I was like, I don't know about you, man, but they were really trying to pull in that moment of her dying. I did not.
I thought she was alright.
I felt a little bit bad for Obi Wan because that was like his last chance of any love with a lover, and he's like, no.
I thought she was alright. I like that she explained her turn and stuff. I do.
That moment was made to be so highly emotional, I think, and it just did not land for me at all. I'm like, I don't not.
You know, your character ain't the best when you're getting emotional about the droid that doesn't speak. All right.
Yeah.
So Ned B was my favorite character out of the show. I really love that droid. I know it doesn't say much or anything at all, but I just love I just love the way it looked and stuff. And yep, R.I.P. my boy, I guess. The whole Vader pulling down the ship, I loved that. That was straight out like The Force Unleashed and stuff.
He was like a big cranky baby trying to like, you know, bag my toy, you know.
But and then
I love how much he yells in this show. It's so cool to see him yell and
because he never
does that.
Yeah, we always see Vader like always, you know, chilled, composed.
Well, he only yelled like maybe once or twice in the original trilogy.
Yeah, but like even in his fight stance, like in the second fight, he goes defensive. Like Anakin is always on the attack with Obi-Wan as well as Vader, constantly on the attack. but he has to change it up to be defensive, which I really like. It's, you know, it shows that he is in his early days and stuff. Yeah, I love that sort of stuff. But what did you think of the fight between Vader and Reva? Did you like it, or, you know?
I mean, here's the thing. People really hate
interpretation.
Reva. People really hate Reva and Reva. I don't know how to say it. Like, I don't have much of an opinion on her. I don't dislike her. I don't like her. Like, she did her job.
Yeah.
The fight itself went exactly the way I thought it was going to go, which was obviously that she's going to... I kind of like that Vader doesn't even pull out his lightsaber at first. Like, that was really cool.
He's just playing with it.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
And I mean, but, like, I knew that was going to happen. Like, I knew it was going to be, like, that's what they were building towards. There's no way they're going to... What, is she going to beat up Vader and then the final fight?
Imagine if they pulled some shit like that. Jesus Christ, the internet would have been a mess.
I know. But, I mean, the only thing is... But this is also a Star Wars thing. It happens constantly in Star Wars, right? When you stab someone and then you, like, walk away. Like, even Obi Wan does it with Anakin.
I hate how inconsistent lightsabers are. Like, a lot, like, obviously in the OG stuff, like, they were considered very dangerous. Obviously, Vader gets his hand, like, chopped off in Episode 6, as does Luke. Obviously, when you kill people, obviously they die. The prequels, limbs are getting fucking taken off. Maul gets chopped in two. And then this show's had a real weird time with sabers, because in Episode 4, you know, when the lights go down and those troopers are looking for Obi Wan is swinging his saber at one trooper like this, and it's like, he should be cut in half and stuff. Like, why isn't it got... It's not like he's wearing special armor.
He just wants to bat at them, that's all.
Fuck off, you bastard. So it's weird, but yeah, I don't like it when people get stabbed and shit, and then they're just like, you know. Yeah,
it happens all the time. It happens in like everything, you know. And I just like Star Wars characters never confirm a kill ever. Like, they never go back and are like, let's just decapitate him.
Just I honestly thought that Vader was going to do the whole Dooku head chop with her.
Yeah.
The way it was framed, I thought, go on, fucking do it. But she's been stabbed before, and I was like, what? No, fuck off. I'm not having that.
It's just, I don't know. It's just, lightsabers are just this magic fantasy weapon that can do whatever they need to in a given moment, you know? And it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it's
I just wish, like, there's no way Vader ever would have thought. I just that she was dead. She just walks away, you know, like.
And I do like how the Grand Inquisitor just shows up and he's like, hello.
Yeah. Dude, that guy did not need to be in the show at all. No. I don't know why he was there. It was so weird.
I love how... I like his approach when he comes up. He's like, hello, sister. He's
revenge does well for the heart. It's like, all right, yeah. I mean... I know obviously they're not Sith. I would believe it more if they were Sith and like the dark side is keeping them going, because it has happened before. But they're not Sith, so it's kind of like, you know, they put that fake stab in there in Episode 2 for shits and giggles with the Grand Inquisitor. For what reason? Like, you know, we already knew he's in Rebels, so what was the point? I will say, I'm very glad that it is one whole vision. Deborah Chow, it's not different directors and stuff. I really like that direction. She did a solid job. Episode 6. Yeah, I really wish it was just Obi Wan and Vader just having a really personal story, but I'm happy with what we got. I just didn't.
This is a unique thing to me, but I had a very funny like cheer moment, and Aiden here can attest to it. Aunt Beru has got nothing to do in the entire franchise, especially this version. That actress, I think in Episode 2, Owen goes like, "This is my girlfriend, Beru," and she goes,
"Hey,
hello."
That's it. That's all she says.
Standing there. And then I was like, oh no, they're going to do it again. They brought her back. And so then when she pulled out the guns and threw them, like, we're fighting, I was like, yeah, Beru, get him.
She's not taking any shit. She's like, fuck this.
She just throws it. He's like,
grab a fucking pair and let's kill this fucker, alright?
Yeah. So I was like, yeah. And also, I just like the action.
Fucking hell, where's this come from?
and I just like the actor for Owen as well. He's awesome, and he did such a good job.
Yeah. I kind of feel like oh, sorry. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you can go ahead. It's fine.
The thing with Owen is that, and like Obi Wan, I love that they do butt heads a lot, but they just want the best for Luke, and they just don't agree on that. Like, I saw a few people when episode 1 dropped, and they were like, they're trying to make Owen to be the bad person. It's like, no, you just want something different from what Obi-Wan wants of him. They both want the same thing. Like, they both want him to be safe, and, you know, but...
I mean, he's kind of a royal dick in episode 4. He's not a nice man.
But you see, like, at the end of the day, like, Luke is the closest thing to a son that Owen has, so naturally he is going to be very protective over him. So yeah, I really like Owen in the show. But it's nice that we see these characters that are kind of there in episode 4 and then fucking die. You know, they're not the most important characters or anything. But yeah, it was nice to see them and actually do something.
Yeah, that was great. I like that, and I wasn't crazy about like Luke. First of all, and it's not his fault, but the kid who plays Luke is a significantly worse actor than the girl who plays Leia, and you can kind of tell.
Yeah,
he gets like 2 lines of dialogue, and it's like, ooh. So I can tell they.
I was trying to think if it was the same kid that was in The Boys.
No, it's
Is it not? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, I wish it was. Would have been better. But he's a kid. You can't really complain.
Yeah. What did you think of Leia in the show?
Leia was great.
She was great. I really liked Leia a lot.
Yeah, I really liked Leia. I know child actors are not the thing like a lot of people like, and obviously she hasn't had a lot of flack, but obviously there's assholes out there who were like, oh yeah, but you know, shut the fuck up, man. She's a kid at the end of the day. Like, she's doing her best. She's fucking living the dream. She's actually fucking in the shit whilst you're cranking out 15 videos on the stuff. So
it's so funny to me how ironic it is that people be like, oh, here's Disney, like Disneyifying Star Wars and having a kid and everything. And I like and then in The Phantom Menace, there's like the kid who plays Luke who got bullied horribly, and people are like, oh, and it's like, offer the same compassion for this girl who's playing Leia.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's always fucked me off about like just fandoms in general, how easy people forget, and it's like, you know, just fucking, you don't need to attack actors and shit. If you got a problem with stuff, criticize it, but you don't need to take shit personal. Like, at the end of the day, they're just doing a job. If you got an issue with someone, go to the fucking screen writers or whatever, do you know what I mean? But obviously, don't attack them. And like, the whole Reva stuff, like, I don't really like the character. I felt a little bit for her with a backstory. I knew it was coming anyway, but I just thought she didn't do anything for me. Like, I don't despise her. I'm not making videos about saying fucking, you know, and all this shit. But I didn't like her. I just thought, I don't need you here. I don't need the Grand Inquisitor here. Yeah. Can I just have, you know...
The Inquisitor, I just don't think the Inquisitors at all needed to be in the show. But
the Inquisitors are just shit in general. Like, they're just... I've never liked them.
The best time for the Inquisitors is the game, Fallen Order.
Yeah,
they're great in Fallen Order, you know. And then in this, it's like, I mean, they're fine, but I don't know. I like with like Reva, it was like she was fine, and I was okay with her. I was like, yeah, all right. I liked it. There was a slight uptick with her acting at the end when she's giving, and then her character arc there.
Yeah.
I liked that. And her performance was good, and I liked her not wanting to become what Vader, and that all worked. And it also was good for Obi Wan, and like he was able to help her because he was done with his arc and all that, so that all worked. But like, Star Wars at this point needs to be done with this whole redemption thing. Like, they just need to stop.
Yes.
You know. 100%. Happened constantly.
Disney have a right hard on for that sort of stuff, and it really fucking rubs me the wrong way. You introduce this villain, and then by the end of it, like, I don't want to be bad, I want to be my own thing. Like, oh, fuck off, man. It happens far too often.
I wanted to mention, it's kind of like you have with Fallen Order in this show. It's kind of the opposite effect, where you want the Inquisitors, but not Vader in Jedi Fallen Order, and then you want or not the Inquisitors in this.
Yeah. I
think, if you're going to include the Inquisitors, have them be the villains. And really need Vader.
Yeah.
You can maybe tease Vader, but not have him come in and kill the main villain of the game.
Yeah.
Have an interest
Well,
in life.
I will say I absolutely loved the last 15 minutes of episode 6. Like, I really love like Leia and Bale together because they're great together, and Bale's really sweet in this show. He's never a character that I've been like, oh, he's great, you know. But I really liked him as like a dad figure in the show.
Up and down when you see him cameo in Rogue One or any other.
Yeah.
It's
He's in Rogue One?
Yeah.
Wow. That's I literally completely forgot.
He's only in like one shot, I think.
Yeah.
But like Obi Wan talking to Leia about her qualities and stuff, that was really sweet. I loved that. Then obviously Obi Wan goes up to Luke and says hello there. Finally we got it. You know, he said the line wearing that comic outfit.
It's a pretty cool reference. I like that look a lot.
And then
oh my god, it's so good.
Then we get Qui-Gon. I know not everyone likes Qui-Gon. I don't mind him, but I was incredibly excited to see Liam Neeson back as Qui-Gon.
That was really cool.
I was like,
yeah.
That just finished it off. I was like, that's it. I don't need a second season as much as I would love to see more Obi-Wan, but I don't need another one. I don't even know what they would do anyway. Like,
I don't think they should. I really hope. There is a path forward out of Obi-Wan, but I don't think it's a second season. I think it's blatantly obvious that they should just do a Hayden Christensen Darth Vader show. Like,
I would love to see
that.
That
Just seems right. Like everyone loves the Vader comics. Everyone loves. Like, just do that. Stop. Just make a show about Vader with Hayden Christensen.
Yeah, and if you want to put Obi-Wan in it, do flashbacks from the Clone Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
I gotta say, like, I know, like, in the prequels and stuff, like, Hayden got a lot of shit, like, for the wooden act and stuff. Like, that was just George's thing, I guess. But, like, I really loved him in the show. I mean, I've always liked him and loved him, you know. But in this, I thought he was really, really good. Like, when we did see him and stuff, and, like, obviously when he's in the Vader suit and, like, you know, we see him at the end with that half the mask. And it's, like, changing in between. That was fucking great how they did that.
The idea of a Vader show is probably just the best idea because that fit everything that Disney or whatever they're not. I don't want to say Disney all the time. It's not all Disney. It's just Star Wars in general, where they want to put Vader and everything, but
just make a show. Yeah,
it makes sense.
Make a show.
Make a whole show, and you just put it's all him, so you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, he's like you could do it about like his constant.
That'd be cool because we don't see like a character like Vader on his side of the spectrum, especially with that. I feel like it could be cool to explore Vader after the show.
Yeah.
Like,
I really want them to start doing more Imperial stuff as well. Like, from their perspective of things, where it's not the rebels all the time, you know.
I read a stupid Star Wars book a couple years back where Vader and Palpatine are basically like being hunted down by rebels, like they're being targeted to kill, and they get stuck on this like marooned on a abandoned planet, and it's like Vader and him trying to survive. And it's very weird because you would not imagine those characters of being in that kind of situation.
Why would Palps be out?
I don't know, but it's.
And that was a nice cameo, I guess, just to see.
Anything like that. I don't want to see Palpatine. The one moment he was in the show, it served a little bit of purpose, but I cannot stand that character. I think he's a dumb, stupid villain.
You love him when he's rubbing his knees.
To not be a lapdog for some other old fart.
See,
I think the all you need him for is he doesn't need to be like long discussion scenes. That guy is such a little chode that all he needs to do is say like one douchey thing to Vader, and that can set him off for like the whole show, right? Because that's what he does.
Well, that's it. Like, he says, like, oh, you need to learn to forget your past and stuff. Why have you built him a fucking castle where he got, you know, burnt to shit then?
Yeah.
You know, he's a very manipulative character. I did like the cameo. I much prefer it here than, obviously, him showing up in Rise of Skywalker and shit.
Yes.
It made no fucking sense.
The dead speak!
The dead speak. And I think, like, people would be like, okay, well, then what would the Vader show be about, right? And I think the same thing that the Vader comics are about, which is just delving deeper into Sith lore and weird cosmic Sith history.
Very
Yeah,
spooky.
like spooky, weird, like Vader just delving deep into that and just
because, like,
invent a bunch of new
I
stuff.
would love. I would love if it's kind of like Vader's in a battle tank and he's just dreaming. You know, kind of
Yeah.
what we had for Book of Boba Fett, maybe just to have a kind of anthology for Vader. Because I don't know. I'm still.
I would agree with that. Like, I would love to see Vader, like, and them show like how fucking messed up the Sith like is, and that side of the Force, and how trippy it all is, and really getting deep into it. The Acolyte is meant to get into that sort of stuff, which I'm thankful for.
That's before prequels and.
Yeah, it's, I think I that show I've got high hopes
that's
for.
Set during the High Republic era as well, so it's going to be a nice change.
Yes.
And whatnot, but final scores. What would you rate?
I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
If there's ever a place to bring back Mace Windu, it would be in a freaking Vader show. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that.
Yeah. So how would you, like, out of 10, what would you give the show? And if you want to rank it, go ahead. Out of the 3 Star Wars shows, live action ones that we've had.
I don't know how to.
Yeah.
Overall, I would give it. I feel like I'm probably going to give it the highest. For me, it was a solid 8, but I can't give it any more than that. I can't give it more than, like, for the flaws that I have, but the stuff that really worked and the stuff that I love, it's just, I enjoyed and loved that stuff far too much. Where I'd rank it, I'd put it under The Mandalorian. The Book of Boba Fett's at the bottom. Mando's at the top. I just think that show just weirdly has, like, everything going for it and just does everything spot on. So, yeah. And what about you? What would you?
I'm gonna give Obi Wan a 7 out of 10.
That's fair.
I enjoy this show for the most part. Yeah, it's all right. I like I said, it has the high highs and lows. Yeah. All around, I think obviously the core of the show is about Obi-Wan and Vader, and I was very immensely satisfied from what we got.
Yeah.
That's all I can ask for. That's all I can say. I kind of wish it was rather than being a 6-part event, just have it be a 2-hour movie. I think that would have been more.
Well, originally it was meant to be a trilogy of movies, so I don't know how the fuck they would have went about doing that.
Oh no, that would. I mean, look, more Ewan I would love, and Hayden, like we mentioned, was so good. I was blown away. I wasn't sure how his performance was going to be. I knew it's like obviously it's been years since he's played this character. He was so good. I was.
It's really nice all the reception he's had as well, like all the love and stuff.
It's been very nice to see it. I'm not going to be one to say I've always loved Hayden the movies. No, I never really did. But now I can
that's fair.
For what he did with this. So. Yeah, overall, it was a love seeing just Ewan play Obi-Wan again. Was like anyone watching this was like, this is surreal. I can't believe this is a thing or we're watching. That was
yeah.
It was I think it gave a good reason for bridging the gap between 3 and 4. So there you go.
I am going to average this out and go with 7.5. So, and I thought about that beforehand, so it's not like I intentionally did that. It was like, the show's balancing from like kind of like a boring Star Wars show to like the best Star Wars show. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah.
So, I don't know. And then ranking it, I don't know. I wish I could rank individual episodes, you know, like across all the series.
Yeah.
Because like the episode when Cad Bane shows up in Boba Fett is like, I have never been more excited in my life for Star Wars because I'm like, that's a weird exclusive thing.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I loved Cad Bane in the cartoon because that's what I would watch.
Yeah,
when he showed up, I was like freaking and I have been talking about him coming back. But then I don't remember anything else that happens in the show. So I don't know. I think it's weird. I also haven't rewatched any of them, so I think Mandalorian season 2 is probably my favorite because I think it does the best thing, just a good show with fan service. And then probably Mandalorian season 1, and then pretty close behind that because I don't love Mandalorian season 1. I think it's pretty good. I'm not like obsessed with it like everyone else is. I think it's, like,
rewatching season 1, it's good, but it's not like the greatest.
Yeah,
it's definitely it practices with the format it is because it's the first season of Star Wars television. So I really enjoy that first season. I enjoy season 2 more for other reasons.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, the 2 episodes I really enjoyed of Book of Boba Fett, especially Cad Bane, but it also had Luke Skywalker, Ahsoka Tano. Like it was a whole.
Yeah.
That's right. I always forget that's not a Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's like it was probably one of the greatest hours of like Star Wars media I've ever had to witness in my life.
Yeah. So I think probably Mandalorian season 2, then season 1, and then pretty close behind season 1 is Obi Wan, and then at the bottom is Boba Fett. And it sucks because I really wanted to love Boba Fett because I was so happy when it got announced. Me and Aiden watched the finale of Mando season 2 together, and then when Book of Boba Fett came up, we freaked out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess that's probably how it is. But
yeah. So that's that. So let's move into our next segment, which is figures. Since this is your first episode, you're going to give your top 5 best figures, whilst Aiden here is going to give his top 5 worst. So Aiden, do you want to go first whilst Thatch has his list, or do you? Yeah.
All right, I'll go ahead.
If you need to get figures down as well, that's perfectly fine. It's up to
I
you.
am probably going to be walking around here, so give me a second.
Yeah, it's fine. Just then you go first then.
All right, so for honorable mention, we have the Classic Wolverine. This is probably not good. Let me hold on.
I mean, if you hold it over your shirt, it works.
I know. I'm trying to do that. This is fine. This will do. All right. The 80 years. This came in the Hulk 2-pack from a couple years ago. Marvel Legends Wolverine. I only say this honorable mention. Rest of the figure's fine. Don't really love the shoulder pads. I know it's the classic suit. He's got this standard red belt with the X-Men logo. But this face, I mean, dude, look at him. He's got like cat whiskers and looks like he's about to.
Yeah.
So, I wish they put the white out in the eyes like how they did in the original cover. But then the claws, it's always been an issue with Wolverine.
Well,
it's the only one
one that I've got, the yellow and brown costume, those blades are pretty good. Like they aren't messed up or anything. It's just if you prefer the blue to the brown or whatever.
Probably gonna get the new retro one soon. It's just that's like definitive Wolverine to me. So that's honorable mention. So I guess I'll go into number 5. We have the re-release of Captain America from the first Avenger. This came out. This was re-released in the first Endgame wave with the build of Thanos, Armor Thanos. This is just an awful re-release of the 2012 figure. Obviously, we do not see America's ass on this figure. And it is just... I can't believe they did. Like, I didn't realize it was an original figure until I searched it up and saw that it was. So they just put it out.
So they just updated stuff and they didn't change anything.
They only updated the paint. That was the only thing they updated, I think. And then they gave him the newer shield, which having a clean shield for Cap, at least for MCU. I have like a dirty one from Endgame. Yeah. This guy is just awful. I mean, awful. Just proportions are out of whack.
Yeah.
It's a product of its time. You can just definitely tell.
I've never liked that costume to begin with. So.
Just a swivel in the lower arm, like lower wrist. You can barely put the head up. It's not a figure to display.
It's terrible.
On top of that, I don't really love this suit.
I hate that suit.
Most people don't. Most people don't really like it. So it's just here. I got this from Braden. He just threw it in a package as I know he didn't want to keep it anymore.
So he just passed it off to you.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'll take it. I like getting goon figures like this, so I'll gladly take it and put it in the background somewhere. So that's number 5. I realized that I put that figure over a figure I think is even worse. This was gifted to me by Thatch, actually. The CW Flash. I can't tell you that. I probably get a headache every time I look at this figure and I have to hold it in my hand. I am not kidding. I feel like it's like a cursed object and I have to like like put it in a box and bury it deep in the ground in my backyard, and hopefully no one would ever find it. Can I say any more? Look at this guy, dude. I mean, he came and it's beyond articulation. It looks like a shitty figure.
My question is, why did Thatch even buy that to begin with?
I have no clue. I was at the mall. I was
a huge fan.
14 years old.
Flash show.
I was 14 years old. I think I just wanted a Flash or something. I don't even like the Flash that much, so I don't know. But he's so bad.
Dude,
and you're right. The headache thing is so funny because every time, that's why I got rid of him, is because he gave me a headache every time I looked at him. So I was like, I can't deal with this right now. But I guess I just damned you to the same fate.
Yeah, it was so odd because you had it in like a box full of all these other things not relating to it, and at the very bottom I see this bastard, and I'm like, what is he doing here? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I just feel like I was getting nauseous. I am right now. So, yeah, that's number 4. He's like the worst, dude. Number 3, we're going at. This is another one from Thatch. This is the Chasm 2 Electro figure. Obviously, it doesn't look like Electro. Thatch actually fixed it up more. He actually sharpied the shoulders. You can see a little bit of the original blue paint that went through. He actually fixed it and made it more accurate. I like the one little electric hand. I love this guy because now that it was like it was like a year before. Actually, it was like a month before we heard like Jamie Foxx was going to be in Spider-Man 3. It was, oh, frick, I got Electro figure. Thank God he didn't look like this. I hope they make one of them as based on the new movie. The only redeeming factor of this, honestly, I can make like a cool sci-fi custom with this guy because he's got like a weird spacesuit on. It does not look anything like it does in the movie.
His shoulders don't move, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, they can go up.
I had to shave them down to make them move. Those are like shitty.
Oh, God, you're right. I can see that now. That's so gross. And the head, I don't know what's going on with the head, dude. I mean...
Dude, it's awesome. It's so bad. I actually regret giving it away because I didn't know he was going to freaking show up again. Because who, in God's name, would have ever thought that Jamie Foxx Electro would show up again?
He was the first person that was announced to be in that cast. So, that's when I heard about this. And we're like, how's this going to work? And then Alfred Molina was going to be, okay, all right, this is starting to make sense now. Funny fact, even a couple months before, Thatch gave me the Chasm 1 Lizard. I love that figure. I can't say I hate it. I absolutely love that figure so much.
With really long neck.
So that's number 3. All right, he's going over there. Number 2, this is another one from Thatch. Oh my God. Thatch just loves giving me shitty figures, and guess what? I love it. I don't like Darkseid, guys. Everyone thinks he's a cool villain. He is lame as hell. I hate him. And what makes it worse, they made a McFarlane figure of him. And he's got this shrunken-in torso. I mean, what the hell's happening here?
He's just breathing in.
Yeah, Rangus, wouldn't you like this? You like this? I don't know, dude. Like, this is... I mean, the arm always flies. This always comes off so easily. Like, this never stays on. This is like...
It's such a badly made figure. It's ridiculous.
It is such an ugly figure. Oh, here's another great discovery. Guess what? You can actually see his spiky chin underneath. Look at that. It's good. Looks really good.
Fun fact, I got this guy when I was ungodly sick in the summer. Right. I was really sick.
Weren't you still sick when you sent this to me as well?
I think I did. I think I saw it. I was like, maybe this will cheer me up, and then it made me more sick.
You're like, I'm not sure if we're gonna give it to you. Meanwhile, like a week later, I get it in the mail. I'm like, wait, it's just, did you carry your diseases over? So I look. In many regards, I don't like this figure, but in many regards, I do. Thatch gave it to me for eventual video I'm going to use him for. He's going to be a very main part in. I'm very excited to do. It's going to be long overdue, but I don't know. I mean, look at this. I can't say much else, right? So that's number 2. And if anyone knows me personally, they might know what my number 1 is here. It is an obvious candidate. It was one of the first figures I got when I decided to... I guess I used to get action figures as a kid. Not as avid as like some other people, but... This was one of them that I got the first time going back into it. Mark 50 Iron Man. This figure blows butt, all right? I cannot stand him. not that I get the standard release, I also got the one that lights up because I decided to get the 3-pack with Thanos and Doctor Strange. And now both those figures are utterly useless, but I have them nonetheless. I just had the light up one here because it's lame, and also you can't move his torso at all. And it's
Look at the colour difference on that.
You can tell
That's fucking terrible.
it's so bad. Look at the light. That's
I wanna say another thing about this. So I have been the longest Marvel Legends collector of anyone in the friend group, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I've been collecting these guys for years, and I knew like what a good figure was and a bad one was, right? And then suddenly in 2018, out of nowhere, all these guys start getting into it, and they all start buying this Mark 50 Iron Man figure. So I'm like,
I'm the only one that didn't buy that
here's
shit.
my explanation.
They're all finally getting into this, and they're buying the worst figure ever. And I remember being so confused because Tyler bought it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh, that's terrible, whatever. And then Braden bought it, and I was like, why? And then Aiden got it. I was like,
Braden made a review of it, and that convinced me to pick it up alongside with this guy, who's still like one of my favorites. This is a second release of Carnage from a couple years back with Cleus Cassidy head when the first Venom movie was coming out.
He's got an Aiden head right there on him.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. I look. I haven't got an action figure in years at a time. I used to get I got a Toy Biz Punisher back in the day, and then maybe a couple of Spider-Man classics, but I didn't know to my mind. And maybe a Lizard. I have a Lizard now. But yeah, this guy, it was a rookie mistake. So
The fact that you're shaking it about when I'm expecting it to flip down.
You gotta find out what's between the good and the bad, and then this is bad and ugly. So
I can't get over them colours. Fucking hell.
They're so bad.
Yeah, it's strong. I don't know why I even own it. That's another burden on my shoulders.
Dude, his sculpt. He's got this weird sculpt where he's like this, and his torso's huge, and his legs are short.
Look, he has I can put his arms up. He's got this left chest. I don't like that. There's a Spider-Man figure, the Velocity suit that's from the PS4 game. That has the same thing. And I'm like, I can't stand that. But it's always chest out. It's like Rob Liefeld, Captain America, puts out.
There was a lot of Marvel Legends in that era that looked like that, and now none of them look like that anymore. I think they
fixed that.
I think they fired that.
I'm so glad that thankfully this list was pretty, I didn't have to think about it. I just, I know what figures I'm going to put on here. I buy a lot of figures that I genuinely think are good, and I like them, but I don't have to nitpick about other ones that I bought. So, yeah, but that's my top 5. So, yeah, there you go. Top 5 words.
How about your list?
So I've got a lot. So first of all, I've got 4 honorable mentions. I'm going to blow through really quickly, and then I'm going to get to my top 5. Okay. First honorable mention is this Doc Brown figure. He's fantastic. I mean, look at his head. He's beautiful. He looks just like the actor. He's funny looking. He's everything I love. He's legitimately great. He's got a weird amount of articulation in his body, which makes no sense, but he's awesome, and he's the best. So I like that guy. The next one, I'm just going to have one example. The NECA Ninja Turtle figures for the 90 movie are fantastic. They're amazing. The movie's my favorite thing from Ninja Turtles, and I grew up with it, and I still think it holds up. And these guys look just pulled right out of the movie. They're fantastic. So those guys are great. Frankenstein's monster here is also great. He's not on the list. He's really good. Any version of him is. I mean, just look at him. He's so big. I love this guy. He's fantastic. And then this is gonna come across as a surprise, but I had to do it, and I couldn't think of anyone better. Danny Doyle is an amazing figure.
I'm not surprised.
Anyone that's seen Biorama knows Danny Doyle, and I just love these guys in general. I've got 3 or 4 of these freaking gremlins, and I needed someone to represent them, and Danny Doyle's the perfect one. I mean, look, he's just so shady looking. He's the best. So those are all my honorable mentions, okay? And now going down the list, I just realized I grabbed 5 figures. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to put the one at the top is Doctor Doom. This guy still holds up. This is the Doctor Doom they did a few years back on that old Fantastic Four wave. He's amazing for a million different reasons. I mean, he had secret articulation and stuff like that. I mean, he was just really cool. And then he's got like jetpacks on him. I mean, he's just amazing. And this design for him is perfect. Like they've done other Doctor Dooms since, and they're good, but none of them can match this specific incarnation.
Yeah.
He just looks amazing. His joints are a little gummy and have like rotted over time, unfortunately. Like his toes do not move at all, but that's just because I don't know, maybe I haven't taken good enough care of it. But he's amazing. Doctor Doom's just such a good villain. You know, he's such a big part of Marvel Comics that to have a figure this freaking good is cool. And they just knocked it. I mean, I don't know. Everything about him is just, I think it's fantastic. Even his weird little like German gun is so cool. So I love this guy. He's the coolest thing. After that, I'm going to put the Green Goblin. And this is one that some people might have an issue with because, I mean, like, I don't think he's on anyone else's lists, but he's on mine because I love the Green Goblin. I think he's like one of my favorite comic book characters ever. I love him ironically and unironically. He's Spider-Man's arch nemesis. It's not Doc Ock, not frickin' Venom. It's Green Goblin. You know. And so that's one reason, but this figure's also the perfect incarnation of Goblin for me because of his colors are so neon and like pink. And that's how he was originally, right? He was more pink and like neon green, and that's my favorite version. I don't really like the darker, grittier, like metallic green, like purpley. I don't really care for that look. I like this pulpy, goofy one, and I love his big stupid eyes. It captures the personality so well. I just get happy every time I look at him, and I even like his the glider that they did for him. It's much better than the Hobgoblin glider. This guy's awesome. Such a great figure. I'm happy he exists. So and yeah, he's just the best. After that, I'm gonna do these next two. I don't know which one should go first, but I'm just gonna go with my gut. I want to do Doctor Strange, the freaking Walmart exclusive, which just is stupid. I hate that so much. I don't know why they did that. It pisses me off. But I still got one. He's amazing. And he's the best comic book Strange you could ask for, you know? Like, everything about him. I even love how his cape is out of the way of his arms and everything. That makes me really... And I also like that it's glued down, because even, like, if you look at, like, Doom here, it's not, and then it's it's always like moving around, and it's just a pain in the ass. And this one is like sturdy, you know, it's not going anywhere. So I really like that. His face sculpt is just so 70s and so perfect. They just nailed it. And I'm just a huge Doctor Strange is my second or third favorite superhero. So this just captures it perfectly. He's just a great rendition of the character. Even if he has Bucky Cap legs, he's still great. And then we've got NECA's Mummy. Obviously I'm a massive fan of the Mummy. It's my favorite. I think mummies are amazing. They're my favorite supernatural creature, which I know is like a very strange opinion, but they're my favorites. I've always loved mummies. I love the original Mummy movie. It's one of my, like the 1941. It's one of my favorite films of all time. And to get like a figure this good and like, again, surprisingly articulate is like so cool. Like, I don't know. The likeness is perfect. I had a Mummy poster above my dorm, right above my bed in my first year of college. I had a poster from this movie. So I stared at this guy's face every night, and let me tell you, they nailed it. He's awesome. He's so good. I'm obsessed with this guy. I'm so happy he exists. Number one is so obvious. It's like, it goes without saying, right? Like, I can't not do this one, but it's the Retro Spider-Man, which is like a cop-out. Like, I get it, but it's because he's actually great, you know? So, like, I can't... He's a wonderful figure. He's hotly anticipated for a reason, you know? They did so many revolutionary things, like the drop-down hips with him are fantastic, you know? Obviously the double torso thing was like unheard of for 6-inch Marvel Legends, you know? So that was huge. The colors were really nice. And obviously I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, so I can't get around it, but he's just so much fun. I don't think there's a figure I touch more than this figure, which sounds weird saying that out loud, but it's true. Like, I would feel guilty if I didn't, like, just even if like I'm not even saying objectively, but just a personal attachment, like it would be wrong for me not to choose this guy. You know?
Yeah.
Like Andy saying Woody isn't his favorite toy, like it would be a sin, right? So I think he's perfect. Well, he's not perfect, but for me, he's perfect. And I brought him every time I've gone to college. I brought him with me. I have 3 of him. I have 1 still in the case that I need to sell as soon as possible because now he's going to get replaced with the new one they're doing. But yeah, so those are my top 5. Those guys.
Good. So yeah, that was the figure segment. We're going to move on and talk about some of your interests, particularly stop motion, because I'd say you're a stop motion artist. I mean, you're still in college and everything, but you know.
Yeah. So I one of the main reasons I also wanted to get, I don't know, maybe no one's gonna even get, maybe no one will see this, but I haven't done any updates on my channel or anything, right?
Yeah.
And this is a great platform for me to talk about what's been happening with my life for the last like year, you know. So I obviously did Fodham, and that was like stop motion heavy with the action scenes and stuff like that, you know. And I did some other stop motion stuff with like the sticky bones and all that. And it's just, I've done it since 2011, so it's been over 10 years now. It's been 11 years, which is so weird. I mean, I was just a kid experimenting, but it's just always been a part of my life. And so Fodham was like a way for me to just practice and work on that skill, because I wanted to go into that as a career, at least something in animation. But if I could pull stop motion, that would be great. So then we picked my college that I went to because it had one of the best stop motion programs out there, you know, that is like respected in the industry, and several of the alumni from that program go to work at like Leica and stuff, who made like Coraline and Paranorman and all that stuff, right? So that's the path. And I've been waiting to get to that as soon as possible, but I had to get my film minor out of the way first. And I did really well and everything. I just didn't like the people, and it was like miserable. It was just, man, there were so many douchey film bros there. It was awful. And like nobody knew what they were talking about. It was just the worst thing.
I feel like
and
you
everyone
always get people like that who just think they know shit and they just haven't got a fucking clue. Yeah.
They're so pretentious, it's insane. There's no self-awareness.
Yeah, I had the same thing when I was doing performing arts and my media studies. It was always snobby fucking people who thought they genuinely knew everything about film and how films are made and all this stuff in the media, and you know, directing and shit, and the stuff they made was shite. And then like performing arts, like with acting, a lot of the people who were in it genuinely thought they were the best next thing, and it's like, you're just not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I just hate people like that.
So I finally got to stop motion in my second year. I took stop motion 1. The way it goes is it's stop motion 1, stop motion 2, and then capstone senior film is 3 quarters dedicated to that stop motion film, right? And they are amazing. That's why they get their jobs, right? So, but the thing is, and everyone talks about how like I was a bit of a workaholic on Fodham, and I worked on it really hard, and I put a lot of work into it, whatever, right? Like I spent a lot of time on it. That like was nothing compared to the workload that stop motion was in college. It is insane. I can't describe. Here's the thing that I was not expecting, right? Everyone says stop motion takes a while. Everyone knows that, right? But the misconception is that they think it takes a while just because the animation is slow, right? That couldn't be further from the truth. The animation on the timeline is maybe 25% of the time, you know? The way they do their capstone films, 2 quarters are dedicated to making everything, 1 is dedicated to animation, right? The thing that takes forever is fabrication. It takes so long to make a puppet that's working and functioning. And I can't even get into the process because it's like chemicals and it's silicone and it's wire engineering and mechanical work.
There's a shitload
and
of stuff that goes into it,
Yeah, it's nuts. It's several stages, you know, of
before you're even like
molds,
shooting anything,
Yeah, and then making the set, you know what I mean? You can't just buy stuff from Joanne Fabrics because the scale is not, they're way bigger than that, right? So it's like, that was insane. That was like, first semester was like every day during the weekdays, I was in the studio like constantly, right? Like and then working, and that stop motion one is just making a puppet, and that took forever. And I had a really ambitious puppet, which I'm not going to show off because I'm still working on the thing for it. But I had a really ambitious one that was basically 2 times the amount of work that everyone else had, and people barely finished. Like, we had one day to shoot just a quick 30-second, basically an animation test, right? And some people, like, people almost didn't finish, basically, I was this close to not getting it done. I did. I was one of the few that got everything done to the way they're supposed to be, and was able to finish something. And then immediately after I finished, the puppet broke, because that's what they do. They break all the time. Yeah. Right? So, you go from like bottom, like, going from this, right, to this is insane, right? Like, these are 2 different things, right? So like, you go from like toys that like you just build, or even like the custom Fodom characters, right? Like Emilio and Ghosty are so simple compared to these things, where you've got silicone and you've got rubber that's got to bend correctly, and you've got tie downs, and then you've got like ports because they can't stand on their own because they weigh so much, because there's a whole machine inside of them, and everything is hand sewn, right? And then you've got to make cast and molds for the heads. Like, you can't just, I 3D printed mine, but most people did this, where they casted and molded this head and made a mold, and then used plastic and then drilled so that the heads, and it's nuts, and then they break, which is why this guy's got weird, scary arms, was because he broke, and then they had to. Oh, and they can't hold anything. They're not like this, where you stick a port in it. They've got these useless sausage fingers, right? So you've got to drill a hole through the middle of them and stuff like that, and then again they break, and this is like 2 months of work to get this thing. I mean, imagine. It's not a perfect comparison, but it's like you're making a hot toy. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's ridiculous. And
I think that's like one of the things that you mentioned, is that like I don't think a lot of people actually understand like how much you actually have to put into like stop motion, like the level that you're doing anyway. Like the actual stuff.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the stuff that people kind of think is, you get something, take pictures, you edit. That's it.
Yeah. No, it's like,
it's much more than just that.
It's like you take 3 weeks to make a set, and then you take 2 days to light the set, and then you take a day to block out it's insane, And so so what happened is I finished stop motion 1 barely, right? And I got everything done, and I was the one, and like a lot of people almost didn't get anything done, but I made a lot of really great friends. It was none of their faults. It was not like, none of them were slackers. They were all hard workers. It was just because there's so much to do,
Yeah.
And then I took stop motion 2, and I got put on an actual like film that we had to finish, like a 2-minute film, right? And everything doubled. Now I'm not making 1 puppet on my own to put on a set, Now I'm making 5 with a team of people, and it's, you've got to learn team dynamics and stuff like that. So that's what this was all about. And this stuff's really fun. And I'm sure it's just like a stuffed animal on camera, but I mean, it's a weird, posable, strange cow creature with like eyes that can move and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And nobody's ever done it on this level before. And then a million things go wrong, and so it takes longer. And I'm not joking when I said that I was working for those like 3 months, 7 days a week, 10 hours a day, consistently in the studio. That is not an exaggeration. That is literally what I did. I came in there in the morning and I left at the nighttime, and then even at the end of the school week, I went in there the entire weekend to do stuff, And we got so close to the ending. The way it shook out again, and it's really, it just shook out that normally these films would have like 3 animators who would handle like 2 shots each, and then you get like 12 shot or whatever, right? I was 1 animator, and I had like 15 shots to do. So it was nuts. On top of doing all of the creation stuff, I was like kind of doing most of the animation work. It was exhausting. Nothing could have ever prepared me.
Imagine. God.
So, but like I learned so much. I've grown. I mean, I've gone from like, I'm doing the actual thing now, and it's great. It's exciting, but it's also the most stressful thing ever.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
but I've learned so much. But that's become my life now. You know, like I said, 7 days a week, 10 hours a day does not allow room for making a Bionicle video anymore. Usually, right?
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to, like, I would love to have all the time in the world, but it's like, out of respect,
for like at the end of the day, like this is your priority over like.
Exactly.
You know, I'm sure I speak for like not just the group, but like everyone who obviously watches your videos and stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, we'd love to see like obviously more from you and stuff, but at the end of the day, that's not what your priority is. It's, you know, what you're eventually gonna get a job in, and you know, whatnot. So
yes, if Fodom was supposed to be a way for me to practice throughout high school, which was always what it was supposed to be, just practice that I can get better at this skill. That was always the purpose of Fodom. And now this is now that's how I'm getting better at this skill, so I can get this job, and so that I can, you know, work in this industry. So that's kind of, you know, I'm still pushing forward in my life as an artist and as an animator, but it's just in this newer, evolved form of it. And I know also everyone's going to be like, okay, well, I really want to see them. Like, I'd love to see those films. And it's like, there's a couple of reasons why. I mean, I'll probably get the one I made for Stop Motion 1 done eventually and be able to upload that, even if it's only 30 seconds. When it comes to Alien Encounters, that is hoping to get a film festival like thing. We're going to submit it to some festivals. And the way that pro festivals work is they don't allow anything to be on YouTube until 2 years after it's in the festival, basically. Otherwise, they won't take it. So if you upload this film to like YouTube, and then at least these like top dog like art college festivals, you know, they don't like it. Like, if you upload it on YouTube and then submit it to the festival, like, they won't take it. You know, you need to wait. There's like a barrier. It's really weird. I was talking to my professor about it. So I cannot post this without pissing off everyone on my team, because I would be depriving them of that chance, you know.
Yeah, that's quite weird. That
it is. It's horse shit, but it is what it is. So a lot of these films from my college aren't on YouTube, or sometimes they're on Vimeo because they're trying to get like a festival thing. Because then people can put that on their resumes and it looks good.
That's a lot of the stuff that we were doing during my media studies when we were doing film and whatnot. We'd use like obviously Vimeo to like do a lot of stuff like that. We never got around to like submitting anything to any festivals. There was, when I was doing my performing art stuff, we did film some stuff, and we were talking about actually doing it properly. With me having my experience like behind the camera and everything, like screenwriting and shit like that, to actually try and do something just to submit it off. But yeah, we never got around to actually sending stuff off. But yeah, it's weird that.
It's really frustrating. But yeah, so that's been my life. It's been
it sounds pretty quiet, doesn't it?
Yeah. So that's why I haven't shown up. I haven't had time.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. It's just...
and I hate. Look, if I did, like, I'm not someone who like misuses time typically. If I've got a moment to do, like, now that I'm home, I'm trying to work on another video. I'm not gonna make any promises, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
I'm also 20. And I need to work because I need to pay for college now, you know? Because college in the States is ridiculously, like, it's just a scam, you know? And I'm actually thinking of the way I live far away from my college. I live like in one state that's at the top of the country, and then my college is at the bottom. So it's like a 2-day drive. It's nuts. It's not like I'm not going to a local university or anything. Like, it's a far away. I have to fly there usually. So usually I also don't have my stuff with me when I'm down there. Though I sometimes I can do it. Like, I was able to film Pizza Party Panic in college. But I don't know. The summer's been my time to have like time to do things. And I don't know. Next summer I'm hoping to stay, because I might be working in the studio in my college studio for stop motion as a tech. So I might actually get paid to be there like 7 days a week. Hopefully, we'll see. But they do a summer program where they that I could get paid for. So next summer I might actually stay in my college. To get that money. Yeah.
Fucking hell. It's wild.
It's crazy. It's a
Yeah.
dude. Yeah.
I imagine.
So that's what I've been doing. It's not like Bottom's canceled, right? But it's just
no,
like,
it's just that it's not your priority at the minute. You've just
exactly. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I
Which-
still like. Yeah.
Which is fair, you know. Obviously, like I'm sure you love Fortum. It's been like, you know, like you say, the one thing you've worked on for sort of like stupid amount of years at this point. It's, you know, it's not like you don't want to do it, or it's just other things are more important at the minute. And I'm sure if you did have time, like as much time as you would like, I'm sure you would work on it. You know,
100%.
It's just,
dude.
yes.
If I'm ever rich, as soon as I retire, I'm making Bottom.
That's what it'll be. We'll finally get the next episode when you retire.
Years, guys, and then you know.
Yeah.
That you have to put me out of retirement so I can come and help you.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be.
The whole ride, the whole way through.
Yeah.
I haven't said much, but yeah, dude, it's pretty amazing from what you've told me what you've been up to. It's been very, very cool to hear about a lot of, even though a lot of it's very stressful, and it's a great learning experience for what you want to go for. So I'm happy you've been able to take these experiences, especially your second year where you're able to really interact and talk to people and be, you know, in a dorm all day by yourself, you know.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm very glad you're having those experiences now. So yeah, doing what you're doing.
Yeah, man.
To secure everyone's, but if people are worried that I've given up, to secure everyone's faith that I still have some, that I still care in some degree, I got this guy. So
that's a perfect.
It will always have a
our
place
next
in my
segment.
heart. I spent $50 goddamn for this stupid shit. So you know,
that's
always
the
gonna
best
be a
version
piece
of Tahoe we've ever seen.
Noodle Tahoe is the best. G3 all the way. Oh my god, if it was just this.
Imagine. No Lego. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to pull some shit.
Dude, I would laugh so hard if they all looked like this.
Imagine.
People would lose it. They would like. But imagine if the story's like amazing. It's like,
I know, that would be fucking.
It's like Shakespeare, but they look like this.
That would be wild. But that was a great segment changer. So, like I said at the start of the episode, we haven't recorded in a while. So, has anyone got any new buys? I've got a shit load of new stuff, so I'll quickly talk about that and then you two can fire away. So Black Series stuff. I got the Archive 3PO. He's alright. I needed 3PO as the last character that I needed of the OG stuff. I didn't want to pay $60 to get the better version with Chewie. But yeah, he's alright. I purchased myself and Aiden in Star Wars form. Ponderbother and Dr. Evazon. You definitely can't get one without the other. These are great figures. I definitely prefer, weirdly, Dr. Evazon over Ponderbother, even though he was the one I was looking forward to the most. But this figure weirdly has drop-down hips for some very strange reason. So, yeah, they just extend down for like no reason whatsoever.
It's so weird.
And like they don't move out that much. Like it's really strange. It's like
you gotta do this karate, you know.
It's weird because the lower part of the body is I think the body itself is Luke's. So it's weird.
Luke.
Very odd. Dr. Vazon, yeah, he's really good. Definitely recommend them. But I'm also going down a very dark rabbit hole, and I've purchased some Lego.
Oh no!
So I got the 501st Battle Pack. I know everyone calls it a Battle Pack, but I don't think it is one. Really great set. It's really kind of got me into wanting to build stuff again and get back into Lego. Hence on why I dropped £30 on this bastard. Is the new TIE Fighter. Never owned one before. Always wanted one, but they're stupidly overpriced before. Same with the X-Wings. So hopefully I can get one of them eventually. But yeah, that's all I've bought. I should really stop because I don't know where it's all gonna go. So yeah, those have been my purchases. Have you got anything to share?
Yes. I picked up around, I think, 3 figures the past week. Let me
Mhm.
get. I have them on my desk here.
3. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh shit! I have to put one on the shelf.
If
Well,
Braden was here, you'd fucking have loads.
yeah, he'll pull them out of his
You
pants.
need to have weird ones that nobody like that he's like from brands he's never bought from before.
He's bought like knockoff, like bootleg minifigures as well.
That tits
No,
and
the Mighty
arse, that's
Thor.
weird.
Freaking love this figure. Maybe the favorite of the 3 I got, and maybe. Fantastic figure. Absolutely love her. And then he's on the shelf now as I'm reorganizing, but it's Retro Rhino.
Hey,
Retro Rhino.
He's sharp. What's up?
He's great. He's
No.
right here.
Ten
Um,
minutes.
He's got very different heads.
Sorry about that. My little sister just ran down.
Alright.
The neighbor needs my help. But I don't need to go right now. I'm gonna be there. I got time. I'm gonna wrap this up first, so we're good.
hey, look at that man. I definitely want him. I'm gonna try and pick him up at some point.
I highly recommend him. He's the head sculpts are just love it. But just having a big Rhino's just like, if you have the collection of the villains, Rhino is just like the one you really need. Otherwise, it's kind of missing. I don't know why. Plus, I like pairing up him and Shocker together. I feel like they'd be like the best team together. They probably won't get along as well. And then I picked up Loki, classic comic book Loki, the re-release the other day. I actually prefer the new head it came with. If I can find it, I have a whole mess of things here. This really pissed off face. He is not happy here. He's also got the shorter horns, but I absolutely love it. The thing I don't love about the figure is his little, not tunic, but his like neck piece. You put it there, and then for some reason he has Drax's swords from MCU. I don't know why, but it works. Those are his daggers. The daggers. So yeah, there you go. Those are the 3 I got. Great figures. I like them. They're cool.
Hey. So, Thatch, have you bought anything?
Yes, I'm gonna rapid fire. I think I realized I should have talked about this at first. I mean, I got this a few months ago, but I should talk about it here, especially because it's relating to me. I got this guy. This thing is so obvious. How could I not? Right? I feel like anybody who knows me and then saw that this was real was like, well, he's gonna get that, But it's like perfect time. This is like right up. This is everything I want. So this is glorious. It's gorgeous looking. For some reason, my doors
ridiculously good.
I know, it's incredible. The doors don't stay open. But yeah, and then it came with these really cool minifigures, and I put them with my old minifig because I had the original set, and these guys he's got side leg printing, so cool. But yeah, this is a glorious thing. And I also got, I'm just gonna use one as an example, but I got all the Lego Muppets. So here's Kermit. I have all of them over here, but I'm not going to take them down. Awesome stuff. I'm a big Jim Henson fan, so I actually have 2 Kermits. And then I visited some of my old high school teachers who were my 2 favorites, and then they ended up getting married while I was there, and it was like really cool. And I'm like best friends with them. So I visited them, and the one of them, the dude, he's got a whole collection of old 80s toys. I mean, original Transformers, like Dinobots, original like G.I. Joes from the 80s. He's got like the first like comic book with all the bounty hunters from Star Wars in it. He's got the first appearance of Ghost Rider. It's like crazy. And he also has a bunch of old retro Legos. So he gave me 2 original classic spacemen from the 80s, which is awesome. It's so cool. This one is they're both in great shape, but this one's in better shape because he still has the gold on his chest,
Oh, yeah.
And this is really, this is awesome. I'm so glad that I don't even know. I'm holding these, I feel bad. Like, I don't want my finger oils to destroy it. And then there's this guy. He's not in as good shape because his gold's rubbed off, but aside, like, they don't have too many nicks in them or anything like that, So that's really cool. And then I have a whole collection of spacemen from, like, from like the new stuff, so I get to put them with that. And then I stole this one from my little brother, so that was cool. That's not a buy, but I was given it, and I was like,
yeah. That's fine, honestly. So that's been the episode. We've covered quite a lot of stuff, talked a lot of shit as well, as always. Thatch, is there anything you want to say? Anything you want to promote?
Promote. No, not yet.
That's completely fine.
Um,
That's all I'd ask.
just say that I'm still live. I'm still doing stop motion. It's just not in a way that I can put on the channel right now.
Yeah.
But I'm still pursuing the dream, and hopefully, as more goes on, I'll have better news and cool stuff. If I end up getting a job in this career, I will talk about that, on the channel. But
No.
yeah. So that's bitch. I'm fine though. I'm sorry it's been so long since the video, but I gotta. I'm maybe Fodham isn't like doing so good, but my overall work as an animator is
yeah.
propelling forward. So yeah,
That's good. Aiden, do you want to say out?
Bye. Thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening. Thatch, thanks for being on.
Yeah, thank you. I know it's been a while, but I appreciate you obviously being on. It'll be nice if we can get everyone on an episode once and just,
That's gonna be crowded.
Hey, maybe, actually, I do have one thing I can plug. Kind of. Me and Aiden are gonna be. I'm flying this weekend. I'm flying on Sunday to visit Aiden, and we're gonna hang out for a week. So down in where he lives at his house, and we're gonna see Thor: Love and Thunder. So, Angus, if you want to do a podcast,
yep,
we're gonna be in the same place at the same time. So,
Well,
Squeeze on.
I'll be up for that, and yeah, that's that isn't next week, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is
it
it?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
July
shit.
1st is this Friday, which is crazy. So.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Also, Things Volume 2. Oh my god.
Yeah, we'll definitely review it and stuff. So thank you both for being here. Thanks for watching the episode as well, and yeah, bye.
Bye.
Bye.